moving on from this week in the NBA, we're going to talk about a team that struggles mightily on defense that you guys have been waiting for us to talk about. The Charlotte Hornets. Every single time I look in the YouTube comments, it's when are you going to talk about the Hornets? You said you were going to talk about them. You haven't talked about them. Well, we're going to talk about them now. And we're going to talk about their defense because they have the worst defensive rating in the NBA. They are giving up the most points in the NBA. Yesterday, they lost to Portland 114-125. They gave up 81 points in the first half. Dame had 43. McLemore had 28.
Oh, he finished with 40.
Yeah. The Hornets are 16-15. They're the 6th seed currently. What do you think can fix their defense? How do they fix their defense? And is that ultimately going to take them from being just a fringe playoff team to a top 5 seed in the East possibly?
Of course. I mean, you look at it. They're second in points, third in offensive rating. They're a high-powered offense. You know, they got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket. They're evenly on the same level. You got Lamelo, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges has taken that next step. P.J. Washington can give you about 11, 12 games. Kelly Oubre has upped his game. They got a lot of guys, you know, and James Bucknight has, you know, come a long way in the last couple of weeks. So they got a lot of guys. But and I was talking to Drew about this, to fix a team that's the worst defense in the league, it's 3 things, you know, one of these 3 things: trade, scheme, or they're just young. And this is aside from Gordon Hayward, and I guess we could stretch it to Terry Rozier and Mason Plumlee, of course, this is an extremely young team. I mean, you look at this team from a team defense perspective, and I know defensive rating is a flaw, but in terms of just team defense, the best defensive rating on this team is Scotty Lewis. He played 2 games. It's at 109.
Ooh.
So for guys that played 20 games, LaMelo's at 112. Mason Plumlee's at 113. P.J. Washington, he's at 114. Then you got Nick Wright. He's at 115. A bunch of guys at 115. Miles Bridges, who came in, he was supposed to be a defender. He's at 117. 118, Kelly Oubre. Then you got Gordon Hayward, Kai Jones. Oh, my God. It's just a bunch of – nobody is higher than 110. So this team is a poor defensive team.
Lower.
Oh, thank you. Nobody's lower than 110. So this team is a poor defensive team as a unit. And a lot of it, you know, they're young. You know, and young teams tend to not – you know, they're not that great defensively as a start. And it shows in them just being young and inexperienced, and that's okay. But I think, like you said, for this team to step their game up and really become a serious contender in the East, they have to play defense. They have to at least bump it up into the teens just for right now. Low 20s, high teens, just to start, you know, keep that offense going, and then they just keep going year by year. Because right now, being one of the worst defensive teams in the league, you're going to have to outscore everybody, and you can't do that every night.
This was tough for me because, like Riv said a little bit, we spoke a little before, and it's like, how do you fix a team that is terrible defensively? Not just terrible, the dead worst in the league. If you're the Charlotte Hornets, I'm sure you understand that you have a bunch of ball players that can score really, really well. You have LaMelo, obviously, who can give you 20+. Bridges has taken that step into that 19-20 range. Gordon Hayward is a consistent 18 to 20 point per game scorer for basically his whole career. Terry Rozier has taken that leap since becoming a Charlotte Hornet. You know that they have guys. Now, defensively, they don't. I'm sure that the Hornets looked at the Kings and what the Kings have done over these last few years and realized we don't want to become what they are. Offensively, the Kings have ball players that could score. Defensively, they don't have anyone that could stop a nosebleed. So if I'm the Hornets, you need to realize this early and you need to fix it. It's discipline. You come together and you realize, hey, we need to be doing more. We need to be putting more effort to the defensive side of the ball. You go and you, like Riv said, you go and you make a trade to bring in someone that's defensive oriented. I was thinking about it a little bit before. This offseason, PJ Tucker was very fixated on going to Miami. He would have been a perfect fix for them to solve whatever issue they had defensively. Not fix the entire problem, but at least have some kind of responsibility or bring some kind of responsibility to the rest of these guys that, hey, I understand you guys are young and I understand you're adjusting to the NBA, but you need to focus on the other side of the ball. It's not just offense. It's offense and defense. Defense ultimately wins championships. You look at where the Cavs are at. compared to the Hornets. The Hornets probably have better scorers than the Cavaliers, but the Cavaliers are significantly better defensively, and that's why the Cavaliers are having success as opposed to the Hornets, who started really hot but slowly but surely have dropped off. Defense ultimately gets you to the playoffs and makes you a perennial playoff team. Hornets need to adjust. They need to bring in someone that's defensive oriented. I'm not saying the coach. I'm saying personnel wise, and maybe they'll fix something better than 30. 30 is inexcusable.
They're bad on defense because they don't have the personnel. It's as simple as that.
Plain and simple.
They have to make a trade. And I think the biggest reason why they struggle on defense is because their centers are not good. Mason Plumlee is their best defender on the interior, and he's an average defender at best on the interior. And then you have P.J. Washington, who tries and in spurts that small ball lineup can be successful, but he's 6'6", 6'7". I mean, he's not going to be banging down lows with any big men. Because of that, Miles Turner is the perfect player to go to Charlotte.
I like that.
And the Hornets have contracts that match Miles Turner's contract. I have two trades here. The Hornets can trade Mason Plumlee and P.J. Washington to the Pacers for Miles Turner, or they can trade Miles Bridges and Mason Plumlee for Miles Turner. Now, I know you got that face, and I'll explain it right now. Miles Bridges has broken out this year. He's been flat out phenomenal, but he is a restricted free agent this offseason, and he's going to get 20+ mil in the open market. And the Hornets have a qualifying offer for him for upwards to $11 million, but he's going to get more than that. The Hornets are going to have to match Bridges' contract. They already paid Rozier. They already paid Gordon Hayward. They paid Oubre some money. Because of that, Miles Bridges might be the guy that gets shipped out because they might not want to pay him a contract. And they can have Miles Turner for 3 seasons in Charlotte locked in on his contract, which isn't too much for the impact he makes. Miles Turner averages 3 blocks per game. He has changed. Well, he is the reason why the Pacers defense is good year in and year out. He's a big reason for that. And since Turner's rookie season, only 3 players have blocked more shots than he has. He ranks 15th in the league in deflections and is top 5 in terms of defensive field goal percentage at the rim. Indiana's defensive rating is 107.7 when he's on the court and 111.3 when he's on the bench. This guy is a really great defender, and he fits what the Hornets want to do offensively because he can shoot. Even with Turner there offensively, I mean, he's 6'11", is going to be an impactful defender, and on offense, he can shoot. He's a great floor spacing big.
100%.
So that makes the Hornets offense still, I don't think the drop off is massive. And whether or not you want to trade PJ or Miles Bridges is up to you. I would personally trade PJ and not Miles Bridges, but I don't think you can go wrong either way. I think Miles Turner, impact wise, makes more of an impact than Bridges and PJ Washington.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I understand Miles Bridges has turned up this season, but Miles Turner, you have until 2023 for only $20 million. That would be extremely beneficial.
And the Pacers, Kevin Pritchard has said he wants to look for a real star. Well, Miles Bridges has shown flashes that maybe he can become that. So that would make the deal enticing for them.
This is the guy who's tied to be the leading scorer on the team.
You're saying Miles Bridges, yeah.
But you still have Lamelo, Rozier, Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward's averaging a point less than him. Rozier's averaging a point less than Hayward.
That's just...
Oubre's averaging about the same as Rozier.
PJ has to go. Easily.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you had the choice and PJ, they said, yeah, we'll take PJ, I'm sure they don't hesitate to do that.
Bridges is just tough because of the breakout he's just had this year. It's been tough, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Defense is
that would be huge, and he can shoot. He takes a minimum 4 threes a game, and he's shooting 36%. For a big, that's fantastic.
Defense is definitely the key, but it's tricky because Miles Turner has stated he wants more touches,
and he would definitely get more touches here.
I don't know,
as opposed to Indiana.
I think they'll play a fast. I don't think he'll get more touches, and he's only complaining in Indiana because they're not winning. If he goes to Charlotte. They're going to play a fun style of basketball. He's going to run in transition a lot. He's going to get a lot of easy baskets, and it's going to be a fun place to play for him. So I don't think he's going to complain in Charlotte because he's going to play a role. He's going to excel in it, and he's going to be playing a fun brand of basketball.
Like right now, he's only taking 9 attempts a game. It's not out of the realm of possibility he gets traded to Charlotte and it goes up to 11, 12.
I'm going to be honest, bro. Miles Turner needs to stop acting like he's a star.
I understand, but at least when
this
he
is
gets
who
his
he is. Like,
I don't think he's acting like he's a star.
Exactly.
I think he's acting like he just wants to be somewhere
wants a
where
bigger
he can,
role.
Yeah, that's
which
all.
I'm fine
I think
with.
where he
Given
just
his
wants to win. What's a
efficiencies.
bigger role, bro? He's averaging 13 and 7. That's his career, though. He's not getting better.
But given the
9
opportunity
field
that's been
goals,
given,
those
and his
stinks.
field goal percentages are good. They're good.
He feels like he can do more with more opportunity.
Bro,
That was Jeremy Grant.
I really just think he is who he is.
That was Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant felt like he could do more with more opportunities. He went, boom, 20
All
points.
right,
a
and
game.
he's on a bad team.
That's true.
He's not doing anything, and he's about to get traded again.
That is very true.
So Miles Turner, I think this is who he is, but it's fine because he's a good player. I just think the Hornets, their offense is electric. Lamelo is electric. Lamelo is going to be if he's not already, he's going to be a top 5 point guard soon. Gordon Hayward is still playing at an efficient level, all-star level, a little bit below that. Rozier is a flamethrower, but they need an interior presence. And PJ Washington at 6'7", 6'6", cannot guard bigs. Mason Plumlee's average.
Yeah.
They need to trade for Miles Turner. Miles Turner gives them a defensive presence and makes their defense formidable.
But
they won't
LaMelo-
be elite, but they'll be good.
They'll be better than 30.
LaMelo and Miles Bridges' chemistry is so perfect, bro. Like their combination, like it's just, I don't know, bro. That's tough. Like
You're getting stuck on that, but like you can
Gordon
trade
Hayward's
PJ.
and Gordon Hayward's still on the squad.
I would, yeah. I mean,
And I don't think Indiana wants Hayward.
he's 31.
Still got a couple years.
Yeah, I mean,
If
Again, for
I'm-
the
look,
contract for Miles Turner, that's super firm.
I get what you're saying. If I'm the Hornets, I'm trading PJ
Yes,
Washington, Mason
absolutely.
Plumlee, and some picks for Miles Turner, and I'm fixing up my defense.
Absolutely.
If you're hell bent on keeping Miles Bridges, because Miles Bridges, we know he's a really damn good player, and I would 100% be an advocate for keeping him, but he's his contract is expiring this year. He's a restricted free agent. On the market, a team's going to pay him.
Yeah.
They're going to pay him a lot, and the Hornets have to think about whether or not they want to match it. You know, if you're the Hornets, are you matching a contract where Miles Bridges is getting paid $24 million? I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
yeah, that's tough.
Especially when you need defense. Bridges isn't giving you what Miles Turner is going to give you defensively.
It's not even that. I just don't know if he's worth $24 million.
That too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh yeah. I mean,
It's tough. The names, it's tough
just-
to give up on a 23-year-old, especially when this team is very oriented around young players.
I just think the way they've been going, like trading for Miles Turner, I feel like, yeah, that's gonna solve some problems, but you're still gonna have the same guys next year that were bad on defense the year before.
I don't think LaMelo's bad on defense.
He has to give his effort towards offense.
I don't think he's good.
He's not.
I think he's good on defense.
I don't think he's
I do
great.
think he's
I don't
good
think
on
he's
defense.
great, which is what I
think.
I think Hayward is good on defense.
I think they have stretches where they show you that they're good. I think consistently on a night-to-night basis, the way they score and the amount of the fact that they have to score like that, I don't think they can be good on defense.
I think their real problem is that they're so bad on defense because they don't have any rim protector. So guards and players are just driving in and there's no resistance. If there's a rim protector, yeah, there's now resistance at the rim. Like LaMelo's not a bad defender.
I don't know if rim protection is their only.
Hayward's
problem,
not a bad defender. I don't think PJ Washington's a bad defender. I think Miles Bridges is an okay defender.
What's their problem then outside of defense?
when you're 30th in
Well,
defense,
there you go.
When you're 30, it's not just rim protecting, bro.
The Cavs
Okay.
were one of the worst defenses last year.
But they don't have interior presence.
They have the same personnel outside of Rubio and Evan Mobley who came in. You're telling me Evan Mobley was the only reason they became a
Evan
top
Mobley
defense?
and Jared Allen.
I was going to say
Jared Allen was there last year and they had a bad defense.
True.
So I think it's effort. Like, Darius Garland.
That's a big part of it.
Darius Garland, last year you wouldn't think he's a good defender. This year he's really stepped it up. So it's effort, but you need to have rim protectors. Cleveland is a great defense because they have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They have rim protectors. Like every great defense has a rim protector.